He was the man behind the music legend. But behind the scenes, chaos was quietly building. Drug addiction, heavy drinking, a marriage in ruins, and now startling whispers. Has Rihanna's father passed away? What really became of Ronald Fenty? This is the heartbreaking, hidden story Rihanna never wanted brought to light. Long before she became a global phenomenon before the Grammy wins, fashion lines, and Super Bowl spotlight, Rihanna was simply Robin Rihanna Fenty, a young girl growing up in Barbados, and the man who raised her, Ronald Fenty, her dad. Ronald had 3 children with his then wife, Monica Braithwaite, Rihanna, Rory, and Rajat. Outwardly, they appeared to be a normal, loving family, but inside the walls of their home, the foundation was crumbling. Ronald was often described as outgoing, magnetic, and imaginative. He held a job as a warehouse supervisor and even dabbled in fashion from time to time. But beneath that vibrant exterior, he wrestled with inner demons, deep ones.
By the time Rihanna reached her teenage years, Ronald's struggles with alcohol and crack cocaine were no longer hidden. He would vanish for days. Fights with Monica became a regular occurrence, some breaking out in front of the children. Rihanna once called her upbringing traumatic. At just 14, she witnessed the painful end of her parents' relationship. In 2002, Monica Braithwaite had finally reached her limit. She filed for divorce, stepping away from the chaos Ronald's addiction had unleashed. But for Ronald, that was just the start of a darker descent. Post-divorce, Ronald found it difficult to maintain stability. He lost his job, his health declined. Rihanna, meanwhile, was rising fast as a young artist, but she remained torn. Her love for her father never faded, yet the trust between them had been deeply fractured. In candid interviews, Ronald openly discussed his battle. He revealed that drugs were his escape, his way to numb the pain. But what pain was he truly escaping? The divorce? Regret? Or something more buried? Something even more painful? And while Rihanna climbed her way to the top, Ronald was left behind, locked in a fight with the ghosts of his past that refused to let him go. Through it all, Rihanna displayed remarkable resilience and a deep sense of compassion. In 2008, she covered the cost of her father's rehab. Years later, she even gifted him a mansion in Barbados. They made efforts to mend what had once been shattered. Ronald showed up at some of her public appearances. Smiles were exchanged, photos snapped. But underneath it all, a certain fragility remained in their connection. Each embrace carried the weight of past pain. And for Ronald, the guilt never left. Many believe he never fully forgave himself for the damage he caused to his family. Recently, whispers began to circulate online. Ronald Fenty has passed away. Fans grew concerned, but was the news accurate? The reality is, Ronald Fenty is still living. According to the most recent updates, he continues to reside in Barbados, though concerns about his health persist. Some say he appears weak. Others report he rarely steps outside. One thing is certain: his addiction left behind lasting scars. Is Ronald still battling substance abuse? Has he swapped a broken marriage for comfort found in a bottle? Or has he finally started the journey toward peace? Ronald Fenty isn't only the father of a billionaire global icon. He represents how addiction can fracture families, and how love, even if strained, still attempts to repair the damage. His mistakes were serious. There's no denying that. But within his journey lies a profound reality. Even the deepest cuts can, with time, begin to close. Rihanna may shine on the world's biggest stages, but her emotional wounds are genuine. And her father? He carries the burden of his past choices every single day. In a profoundly emotional turn of events that has rocked the entertainment world, Rihanna has been struck by the devastating news of her father Ronald Fenty's passing at the age of 70. Known for her poise and resilience, the global icon was seen in tears as friends and family came together to say their final goodbyes. Yet, the story behind this sorrowful moment runs far deeper than most could have imagined. Stay with us, because what we've uncovered about the funeral, Rihanna's quiet pain, and Ronald Fenty's final hours will leave you stunned. This isn't just another celebrity headline. It's a story of grief, memory, and the complicated ties that bind families. Today, we take a heartfelt look at the emotional journey of one of music's most powerful figures, Rihanna, as she faces a deeply personal loss few saw coming. According to several sources, Ronald Fenty has passed away at 70. While the public has long been aware of the ups and downs in their relationship, newly emerging details about his final days, Rihanna's visible heartbreak, and the private tribute she offered at his funeral paint a far more personal, emotional picture than many expected. In this video, we'll be revealing exclusive insights into Ronald Fenty's final moments, how the tragic news reached Rihanna, and why her raw emotional response is capturing global attention. You'll learn about the moving tribute she gave, the well-known faces who stood beside her during the service, and why this moment holds such deep meaning for Rihanna, not only as a daughter, but as a global symbol of strength and vulnerability. So don't look away. What's coming will reveal aspects of Rihanna's life that the public has never seen before. And trust me, you won't want to miss the truth about what happened behind the scenes. The entertainment world came to a standstill when the heartbreaking news broke. Ronald Fenty, father of international megastar Rihanna, had died at just 70 years old. The news didn't first appear in a major headline or through a post on Rihanna's social media. Instead, it began circulating through close family sources and quickly reached the media within hours. Hashtags like #RePronaldFenty and #PrayForRihanna started trending as fans and celebrities alike expressed their condolences and grief over the unexpected loss. What made this moment even more shocking was Rihanna's silence regarding her father's recent health issues. Known for being fiercely protective of her family's privacy, she had kept the details of Ronald's health struggles entirely out of the spotlight. But sources close to the Fenty family have since confirmed that Ronald had been dealing with an undisclosed illness for several months, an illness that worsened significantly in the final weeks leading up to his passing. While many fans remembered the strained relationship between Rihanna and her father, defined by his well-known battles with addiction and their legal disputes over the Fenty name, it was Rihanna's immediate response that truly took people by surprise. Reports say she was overwhelmed with emotion, breaking down the moment she received the heartbreaking news. She canceled all upcoming business commitments and, within just a few hours, boarded a flight straight to Barbados to be with her loved ones. But here's the unexpected twist no one anticipated. In spite of everything they had endured, Rihanna was present for her father during his final days. According to sources close to the family, she had quietly visited him during his last hospital stay, bringing forgiveness, comfort, and a sense of closure that deeply affected them both. A family member described the moment as a silent reconciliation the public never imagined would happen. That sudden shift, from distant to emotionally connected, right in the shadow of death, prompted many fans to take a deeper look at their long, complicated history. But what really happened in those final hours inside that hospital room? And how did Rihanna manage to extend forgiveness after all the hurt? That's where the story takes a powerful and unexpected turn. For years, Rihanna's connection with Ronald Fenty was nothing short of complex. Their turbulent dynamic was well documented, from public altercations and legal filings to uncomfortable red carpet moments and controversial interviews. At one point, Rihanna even filed a lawsuit against her father, accusing him of exploiting her name without consent for his personal business interests. But that legal battle symbolized more than just a disagreement. It reflected years of emotional pain, fractured trust, and prolonged distance. So when word spread that Rihanna had not only visited her father during his final days, but also remained by his side for hours, fans were left stunned and deeply moved. A close family insider, who wished to remain anonymous, shared that the turning point came with a single phone call. A nurse from Ronald's care facility reportedly reached out to Rihanna's team when it became clear that his condition had taken a critical turn. Without hesitation, Rihanna flew to Barbados via private jet, accompanied by her trusted assistant and a small group of medical staff. What was intended as a farewell quickly became something much more meaningful. Rihanna, seated silently at her father's bedside, holding his hand, whispering gently. One nurse who witnessed those final moments described the atmosphere as incredibly emotional. There were tears, of course, but also a surprising sense of tranquility. According to another family member, Ronald looked at Rihanna more than once and said, "I'm proud of you. I'm sorry for everything. I love you." In those final moments, decades of hurt seemed to melt away, leaving only love, sorrow, and a quiet sense of peace. Rihanna, celebrated around the globe as a Grammy-winning singer, fashion icon, and beauty empire mogul, was, in that moment, simply Robyn Fenty, a daughter saying her final farewell to her father. What made the moment even more touching was her decision to include Ronald's longtime partner, along with several estranged family members, in the gathering. This wasn't only about making peace with her father. It was also an effort to mend fractured family ties that had been strained for years. She didn't want bitterness to linger in his final moments, a relative revealed. She wanted peace, for both of them. But what happened next is what truly tugs at the soul. Just before Ronald took his last breath, Rihanna reportedly sang to him, gently, a lullaby from her childhood. It was the same soothing tune her father once hummed to her, when she was just a little girl. No cameras, no social media, no spotlight, just raw, honest connection. And only a few hours later, Ronald Fenty passed away peacefully in his sleep. Rihanna never once left his side. She stayed beside him through the night. A private memorial was held in Barbados just 3 days after Ronald's death. Security around the ceremony was extremely tight. The list of attendees was kept under wraps. No members of the media were formally invited, although crowds still gathered outside the chapel gates, hoping to catch even a brief glimpse of the grieving woman the world knows as Rihanna. Dressed in all black, her head bowed beneath a fine lace veil, Rihanna arrived with an air of grace and solemn dignity. This wasn't Rihanna, the chart-topping artist, nor the billionaire entrepreneur. This was simply a daughter in mourning. As reported, she appeared deeply emotional, yet composed, leaning gently on the arm of her brother, Rory, as they entered the chapel together. Inside, friends and family assembled in quiet reverence. Among the hushed guests were some recognizable faces. Rumors swirled that Jay-Z and Beyoncé were in attendance, as well as Melissa Ford, Rihanna's lifelong best friend, and even a few of Ronald's former co-workers and childhood companions. It was a moment where fame fell away, and only humanity remained. The room grew silent when Rihanna rose to give her eulogy. What came next, according to those in attendance, was one of the most vulnerable and heartfelt moments of the entire service. Her voice trembling, she began with, "We didn't always get it right." Then she added, "You were my first home, my first rhythm, the first man I ever loved." She spoke about memories she held close, sun-drenched days on the beaches of Bridgetown, her father patiently teaching her how to ride a bike. And she didn't shy away from the painful chapters either, openly acknowledging the difficult periods when he battled addiction. "I watched you struggle," she said softly. "I saw you wrestle with demons I couldn't understand back then. But I also saw how, through it all, you still loved me." Her tribute wasn't polished, nor was it sugar-coated. It was raw. It was truthful. She didn't ignore the hurt, the letdowns, but she also spoke to the deep, enduring bond that somehow survived everything. According to those who were there, the speech ended with a deeply personal gesture, Rihanna placing a handwritten note into her father's casket. No one knew what it said but her. And then came what many described as the day's most powerful moment, a heartfelt tribute in song. Rihanna stood beside the open casket and began to sing "Lift Me Up," the soul-stirring ballad from the Black Panther Wakanda Forever soundtrack. Her voice shook with emotion. Every lyric felt heavier, more personal. "Lift me up, hold me down, keep me close, safe and sound." The air inside the chapel grew thick with emotion. Some guests lowered their heads. Others held their loved ones tighter. One person was overheard whispering, "That was the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed." She wasn't just singing. She was speaking directly to his soul. After the ceremony had ended, Rihanna stayed at her father's gravesite nearly an hour longer than anyone else. Just her, alone with the man who once held her as a baby, now rusting forever beneath the soil. And as the sun dipped low on the horizon, one final, poignant act took place. A single white dove was set free into the sky, a symbol of release, of peace. "That's the moment she let go," said someone close to her. She walked out of that cemetery a different person. But then, something unexpected. Just hours after the funeral, Rihanna quietly posted to Instagram. A single black square. No caption, no hashtags, no words at all. The internet immediately erupted with speculation. Was it mourning? A silent tribute? Or something even deeper? That's the part we're here to unpack.
In the wake of Ronald Fenty's funeral, the world didn't get a new single. There wasn't a beauty drop. No surprise performance. The spotlight dimmed for a daughter's sorrow. That uncaptioned black square spoke volumes, echoing through timelines and comment sections worldwide. Messages flooded in by the thousands. "We're with you, Rit. Your strength is everything. He's watching over you with pride. Take your time. We're not going anywhere." Soon, shaky, distant clips began to circulate online. Someone from the back of the chapel had quietly recorded Rihanna singing Lift Me Up. Even in its raw, blurry footage, the emotion was undeniable. It struck a nerve with millions. One fan posted, "You can hear the pain in her voice. That's not a performance, that's a daughter grieving." Even fellow celebrities stepped forward, sharing words of love, empathy, and support.